You say it Zoondoogles. Z U O M D. A Zoondoogle is a kind of money, only yellow or purple. And they only have 5s or 1s.
So most teenagers think that they're too old for Zoondoogles, but I think it's a good way for us to act like little kids and enjoy hanging out with the younger ones also.
I like the Zoondoogles because they're the best thing in the universe.
Zoondoogles are as much for parents as they are for kids. As parents, it can be really easy to get focused on everything the kid's doing wrong. And it can be easy for parents to miss opportunities when kids are really doing well. And there was a study of teachers who had particularly disruptive students in their classroom. And for 2 weeks, the teachers ignored the disruptive behavior, and whenever they did catch the kid doing well, whether it was sitting quietly working at his desk or taking turns on the playground, they would make a point to go over to the kid and pat him on the shoulder or, give him a warm rub on the back, and coupled with a verbal affirmation such as, "Thank you so much, you are doing so well, playing nicely with other kids," or "You're doing so well paying attention today." And the point is, they used nurturing touch to provide a double reinforcement. They provided a verbal affirmation with nurturing touch while ignoring the disruptive behaviors. And within 2 weeks, the disruptive behaviors disappeared. So Zoondoogles are a tangible reminder for parents to catch kids doing well. And as parents, we can't focus on perfection when we're expecting kids to do well. Kids are still learning. For example, if kids have been out playing with Play-Doh at the dining table, and to your surprise, they put the Play-Doh up without being asked. There may be still, little bits and pieces of Play-Doh on the table or on the floor, and maybe the lids aren't fully snapped on. The fact is, they took the initiative to finish what they started and to put the Play-Doh up, and they're taking care of their things. And that is a really good opportunity to say, "Thank you so much. I'm so impressed that you remembered to put the lids on and put the Play-Doh up so it doesn't dry out. And because you just were so thoughtful and conscientious, I want to give you a Zoondoogle for that." And couple that with some type of nurturing touch, whether it's a pat on the back or a rub on the shoulder, just a brief nurturing touch. And I know in foster care, a lot of times kids don't like to be touched, or they have sensory integration issues. And if you have a child like that who kind of cringes whenever you touch them, find other ways to provide nurturing touch whenever you deliver those Zoondoogles, whether it's a high five or a pounder, some way to connect with them, because it provides a very powerful reinforcer when you use verbal affirmation, nurturing touch, and follow up with a Zoondoogle. Well, let's roll up our sleeves and talk about how to use Zoondoogles in everyday parenting situations. And at Hope&Home, we're not going to micromanage how you use Zoondoogles, but we do want to provide some general guidelines. There are a couple of ways that you can use Zoondoogles whenever you're working with kids. One is to use Zoondoogles strategically over time to shape a particular behavior. One thing you want to remember if you use it in this way is you pick one behavior to work on for 2 or 3 months. You don't come up with a long list of 5 things that you need to work on for the next 2 or 3 months. If you're going to use them strategically over time, pick one thing, the most important thing on your list. So if a child is having trouble playing well with other children, So another way to use Zoondoogles is on the spot, in very short-term situations when kids need a little bit more motivation to do well in a certain situation. For example, my kids 90% of the time do very well when we go out to eat. But sometimes, whether it's because they're tired or because we picked a bad time of day to go out to eat, sometimes they might need a little bit more encouragement and motivation to stay in their seat, keep their hands to themselves, and use their manners. And in those situations, I can say, guys, I want you to use your manners, stay in your seat, keep your hands to yourself, and I'll give you Zoondoogles when we get in the car. And if you keep Zoondoogles in your wallet as a parent, you have them at all times for any type of situation like that. A rule of thumb with using Zoondoogles and rewards is the younger the child, the more short-term and the more immediate the reward needs to be. So for preschoolers and even school-age kids up to 6 or 7, keep it very simple, very achievable, very immediate. They have a poor concept of time and can't envision waiting 2 or 3 weeks until they've saved up 200 Zoondoogles to get to go out for ice cream. Make it achievable. So for 3 to 6 or 7-year-olds, you can say, whenever you guys have 15 or 20 Zoondoogles, we can go out for ice cream. And finally, I want to close with Hebrews 10:24. Hebrews 10:24 says, let us consider how we can spur one another on to love and good deeds. And that's really ultimately what we're doing with Zoondoogles. We're trying to encourage kids to express respect for other people, to show love to other people, and to do well, even in little things in life. And as parents, when we think about Hebrews 10:24, let us consider. Consider carries a lot of weight. Consider means ponder, understand, be attentive. And whenever we talk about motivating kids to do well, we have to understand what motivates them, understand who they're called to be, understand their temperaments, understand their weaknesses, and ultimately encourage them to do well when they can without expecting perfection, and completely understanding that they're kids, they're gonna make mistakes, they're learning, they've had a rough start in life, and as parents, the most powerful place of healing for a traumatized child in foster care is within the context of a loving, warm, nurturing, responsive relationship with you. And we want to use Zoondoogles to enhance that, and we want to use Zoondoogles to encourage kids.